Hey everybody, Kevin here, WQ9F. Thanks for joining me today for another video here on WQ9F Ham Radio, where we talk about ham radio gear, news, reviews, and most importantly, getting on the air. Today I am out at Illinois Beach State Park for a Parks on the Air activation. This is Park Kilo 1000. I'm out here about 8:30 in the morning. It's Wednesday, so we're here in the middle of the week to activate, to do a little bit of park. It's supposed to be pretty hot out today, so I wanted to get out here in the morning before it gets too hot. I think yesterday it was about 95 or 96 degrees, pretty humid. I think today it's on track to be in the low to mid 90s again with some pretty high humidity. So I don't want to be out here when that sun gets up in the air and the temperature goes up real high. It's early, so I think the temperature here is only in the high 70s right now, maybe low 80s. But we have a real high humidity, so everything's a little, sticky and kind of humid feeling. Now, there was a pretty strong storm that rolled through the Chicagoland area last night, and that storm did cause some storm damage here at the park. So from the park entrance, as I was driving back here through the park towards the picnic grove, there was some trees down, there was branches in the road, but the great crew here at Illinois Beach State Park was already working really hard and had a lot of it cleaned up. So just some minor debris on the road. They had a lot of the trees that fell already pushed to the side. Now, even here in the picnic grove, there are quite a few trees, a lot of old growth trees here, and even some of those didn't fare too well. So I can see over here a freshly snapped tree. And then there's just branches and stuff like that around here down in the picnic grove. So a little bit of cleanup that needs to be done, but nothing too major. Now, if you like this video, do me a favor and go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Any comments or suggestions for the channel, things you want to see in future videos, put them down in the comments down below. Most importantly, if you like this video and want to see more, do me a favor and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. But for now, let's get set up and get on the air. All right, so for the antenna today, I'm going to be using the KM4 ACK end-fed half wave. Now, this is a kit that you can buy from the KM4 ACK website, and I'll put a link down below, but it comes with everything that you need in order to put this together. So it includes this 3D printed wire winder. It comes with all of the wire, the BNC connectors, a toroid, everything that you need to build this. It's a pretty easy build. It does require some light soldering, but it's a good practice for a lot of folks who have maybe never built an antenna before. Now with this antenna, I am going to be throwing this up in the tree. So here I have my arborist weight. I got this off of Amazon. I'll put a link below. It's just about, I think this is like maybe 8 ounces or 10 ounces. And I just have it connected to a rope, and I can just go ahead and toss that up into a tree. Now, as far as coax goes, this is ABR Industries RG8X, and since our antenna uses a BNC connector and our radio uses UHF connectors, I have an adapter here that I can go ahead and put on my antenna and attach my coax. Now, one big hint: if you have never tried to toss one of these up into a tree before, this line that comes with it is real slick line. It's kind of thin. Do yourself a favor, get yourself a pair of gloves. These are just some work gloves I got at Home Depot or Menards. I actually think they came with something else that I bought, pocket knife or something like that. What that'll do is, as you're getting ready to throw this wire can really give you rope burn really fast. And I found that out in my very first time of using this antenna. It was actually at this park last year, trying to toss that up in the air. I gave myself a real wicked rope burn. And I'll put a link up in the corner to that video. So I'm going to put my glove on. I'm going to get my line tossed up in the air, and we're going to get our antenna run. I'm going to be using this tree probably about 30 feet away. Hopefully that's far enough, otherwise we might have to go move somewhere else. The wire on this antenna is about 60 feet long, so you know, we don't want too much slack. I do plan on running this as a sloper today, but this can also be run as a inverted L, an inverted V, you know, things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this line tossed up in the tree and get our antenna run. All right, so that actually worked out pretty perfect. I've got the end of my antenna coming straight down here to the table. And then this wire, hard to see, this nice yellow wire here, we're going straight up into the tree, and we're coming over that bottom branch right there. And that's probably about 20-25 feet up in the air. So that worked out really good, actually. Now I have the end of the rope just tied off to this little barbecue grill here, and my antenna's up. So that didn't take me too long. It probably took me longer to unwind the actual antenna than it did to get the antenna in the air. That's one of the really nice things about these end-fed half waves and using a weight like this. Toss it up in the air and you're ready to go. All right, now a bit of a downside. Some clouds have moved in and I'm starting to feel some raindrops. So I'm gonna get this set up and get on the air and hopefully make some contacts. But if it starts to rain, I'm gonna have to probably tear down in a quickie. Now I did bring the Hustler resonators and the mag mount, so worst case scenario, I can just use this mobile and use my radio mobile and finish the activation that way. All right, so just kind of a couple tips. If you're getting ready to do an activation at a park and the weather might be questionable, kind of have a game plan of if the weather turns questionable while you're out here, what are you gonna do? So knowing that the weather might be questionable today, since we've had this kind of storms on and off for the last several days, even though the weather said it was gonna be nice today, you know, they said by 8 a.m. it's supposed to be partly cloudy and no more rain and things like that. Well, it's now 9 a.m., it's 100% cloudy, and I felt a few raindrops. So I kind of had that in mind going forward. As far as my kit goes today, I'm going pretty minimal. I've got my logging notebook, I have my G90, and I'm using today the 4.5 amp hour Bio-Eno battery. So small battery, just the radio, paper log. If I need to tear down in a hurry, you know, I can get the radio and the battery into my bag, which is sitting right over here with my other gear, and I can just kind of toss that all together and call it a day. To take the antenna down, it's not a huge deal. It just drops down because it's still attached to the weight in the tree. So all I have to do is just loosen the rope that the weight's attached to, and the antenna will fall right down. All I have to do then is wind it up. So I can have my whole station broken down here in just a couple minutes if it really came down to it. But I do have my radio set up. My antenna is set up. I turned it on to 20 meters, and I'm hearing some stations already coming in around the band. So I'm gonna go ahead and get activated.
Whiskey 3, Lima, Husky uniform. Kilo 7, Sierra, Echo November. Whiskey 3, Juliet Alpha Whiskey. Victor Echo 5, X-ray uniform. Kilo Delta 5, Echo Delta Lima. Kilo Delta 5, Echo Delta Lima. Kilo 3, Echo Sierra. Kilo 5, Sierra, Victor, Victor. Whiskey, Victor, 1, Whiskey.
Is that November 5 Hotel Alpha? QSL, you're 5353 Illinois.
QSL, got the 53, thanks a lot. November 5,
73 QRZ, Whiskey Quebec 9 Foxtrot, parks on the air.
Kilo November 4, November Golf Kilo.
The Kilo November 4, stand by. Park to park.
November Charlie 4 X-ray Lima, November Charlie 4 X-ray Lima, I have 240, I have 240, are you ready? You're 5 and 9, you're over.
QSL, go ahead. QSL, got you. I've got you at a 5353 in Park 1000. 5353 and Park Kilo 1000 QSL. QSL, thanks for the park to park 73. Kilo November 4, November Golf Kilo, go ahead.
Roger that. I have you a 57.
Copy. I have you at a 5555 Illinois.
Roger that. 73. Have a great day.
73. I gotta go QRT because the rain's starting to come down and I'm hearing thunder. 73, y'all. All right, so at the very beginning of the activation, like I said, you got to be prepared for when storms start to roll in. And it was really hard making contacts on 20 meters. I moved to 40 meters and it was nothing for a long time. And finally, it like picked up out of nowhere and I got like 6 or 7 contacts in the log. We got the park activated pretty much just in time because the rain is starting to come down and I'm hearing thunder in the distance. So I got to go ahead and get this antenna out of the air and I got to get packed up and get out of here because I'm not about to get electrocuted because I got a 60-foot long piece of wire in the air. All I had to do is just unwind this from where I had it connected to the grill and the antenna fell out of the tree. So all I have to do is just wind this stuff up now and I'm ready to go. All right, so I've got the antenna wound up, I have the line wound up, the radio's turned off. All I have to do is wind up the coax and my station is torn down. That took me all of about 2.5 minutes. So being able to tear my station down real rapidly like that is a good thing. And I'm not gonna lie, it does take some practice. I've used this antenna probably 6 times. I have my radio bag set up how I like it. I use a paper log so I don't have to worry about closing down computer, winding up extra cables, things like that. And I can have my entire station put back in the bag and be on my way back to my vehicle in under 5 minutes. So it's not something that's going to happen right away if you've never used some of your equipment before, especially out portable. Now I did manage to get 14 contacts in the log, including a park to park, which was a twofer with November Charlie 4 X-ray Lima. As I was taking the last QSO with him, I started to get some raindrops and I'm hearing thunder in the distance starting to move in. And that was my cue to time to get torn down. So I got the park activated. I wanted to be out here longer. I was supposed to be meeting up with another ham radio person, but they ended up not coming because of the storms coming in, and I don't blame them because I'm gonna get out of here too. Thanks for joining me today. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Otherwise, until next time, 73 y'all.